the snowflake. A tiny, seemingly insignificant, yet unique creation. Scientists say that no two snowflakes are alike, in part due to the ever-changing nature of the ice crystals that make up their structure as they fall to the earth. On their own, each flake is delicate. But when joined by billions of others, they form an incredibly powerful force of nature. As these tiny particles become snowpack on the mountain peaks that surround Gallatin Valley, it's the beginning of what eventually becomes the most vital resource for all life below it: clean water. What began as a snowflake, as it melts in the spring runoff, begins a journey that will take it down through mountain canyons and into the heart of one of the fastest growing populations in the West. Along the way, humans will impact the quality of the moisture from that same snowflake in many different ways.
Population growth in the Gallatin Valley in between, say, 2003 and 2023 has increased by 71%. That's way ahead of any of the other fast-growing cities in Montana. So it's explosive. Water is life. Water runs through everything. It runs through the landscapes that you work in, the landscapes that you play in. Water flows through your home. Water flows through your body. We have to understand that we are at the head of the watershed. And not only what they do affects us of upstream, it's what we do affects downstream. And there is always a downstream user.
Eventually, much of that moisture ends up running through the unsung heroes of Gallatin Valley's water supply: ditches.
Springtime, he's out there in rubber boots with a shovel, digging irrigation ditches.
They may not look like much, but these irrigation canals were built many decades ago by the valley's first farmers as part of an intricate system to spread water across the land. It was this irrigation network that allowed agriculture in the valley to flourish for generations, becoming the foundational industry for the communities we love. Over the years, as the population has grown, ditches that were built in remote fields now flow through some of the busiest street corners and recreation areas in the county. And the water in the ditches is shared by more people than ever before, whether it's used to keep the grass green at the local high school football field or as a refreshing cool down at the public pool to beat the summer heat. This proximity and demand has created challenges with keeping the water clean.
We are seeing more trash in the water. Water is critical for our livelihood and for their food. And we use that water, we use it efficiently to grow crops. And so the water quality is incredibly important to us for the crops that we grow, that it's not polluted with trash nor chemicals.
Even in the rural areas that surround Bozeman, Belgrade, and other population centers, the human impacts on the water can be seen. With over 2,000 miles of irrigation ditches in the county, all residents interact with this water. But it's still farmers and ranchers who rely on it to grow our food and are at the center of efforts to keep the water clean.
The water is critical for our farm, for what we do. And agriculture, we believe, is still viable and critical for Gallatin County. If you eat a French fry, there's probably a 50% probability that French fry seed originated in Gallatin County. We produce food. We consider it a privilege to be able to produce food for the residents here and abroad. It's our livelihood, and we'd like to protect that.
As population growth continues, this means a new normal for this spectacular place we call home.
The ditch that I'm on is 38 miles long, and I have seen trash that has floated down from somewhere. We need to work collectively, agriculture and the development community, to put out a message to people that contaminants that end up in a canal eventually will end up irrigated out onto a property onto a crop of food or grass, and ultimately could potentially be introduced into the food supply chain.
In the same way that each snowflake that falls high in the mountains is unique, we all interact with the water that flows through the valley in our own way. But just like the evolving crystals within each snowflake, we can all change our behavior and adapt our habits to protect the quality of our home's most precious resource. We all rely on water every single day, and if we all take responsibility in caring for it from mountain peak to valley floor, we will protect the quality of life in the Gallatin Valley for all.